Hi, this is Julie, and this is Julie's blog. It's Friday. Maybe I'll edit this thing tomorrow morning. I don't know if I'll actually be awake, but I'm going to try. Try to update this thing on time. This week has been a lot of working. I'm a waitress now, which is pretty super de-duper. I'm still in training, although I worked on Wednesday. It was the first time I did lunch, and the woman who was supposed to train me thought that there were too many waiters around and left. So I ended up being in charge of a section all by myself. And then there was some people that were in my section that hadn't been served. But that was before I knew that I was in charge of the entire section. So that was fun. The staff is really awesome. The place is called Market Table. It has a lot of local food. It's a nicer place, but it's still casual dining. It's like a local place where you get good food and local food and quality cooking and everything, but it's New England. It's still pretty cash. And I have to wear all black. Usually people just have like t-shirts and pants, but because the one black t-shirt I have doesn't quite look right, I'm like mixing and matching all these black sweaters and tank tops. And I went out and bought black shoes because I have a pair of black flats, but I was slipping all over the floor, so I went out and bought myself some black Keds, but they might be a little small. They kind of shredded the socks I wore with them, so more experimenting there. Last pair of Keds I got, the sole fell out in like a month, and that was when I was at a cafe where I did a lot of standing and some walking. This is a lot of walking and talking and stuff. The staff is awesome. They're all really sassy. Bunch of young people. They're totally comfortable with each other and they like joke around, and I love it. I adore the atmosphere. And the chefs are right there. Like the counter like blocks some stuff, but you can see like nothing's done behind closed doors. And the chefs are really cool. Everyone's been really nice to me. There's one guy who's really cool. One of the chefs. We got a connection. Tea. But I've been in a bit of a state of inner turmoil today because on Tuesday some of us went out to karaoke night to the bar across the street, and apparently they do this every week. Last week was really cold, so only a few people went. So it was me, waiter guy, I want to call them waiter guy, chef guy, and like this kid that turned out went to school with my brother, and it was like, whoa, weird coincidence. And guy who went to school with my brother had to leave, so it was just me, cute chef guy, and waiter guy. And like we had a fun time. I got up and sang. Chef guy was like, I'll find the book for you. Everything was really chill. And that was Tuesday. And then I worked with that waiter guy Wednesday. And then Thursday I didn't have work. And then today I'm working with that waiter guy again. And all of a sudden he starts asking me these questions like how... The first thing he said, he's talking about how just the rule is if like really cute guys come to the table, you can have the table. If a really cute girls go to the table, I get the table, you know, stuff like that. And then he went on to talk about how other guys really seem to like blondes, so he makes a point to like not that he doesn't like blondes, but other guys will like pick blondes out in the crowd, and he makes a point to not. It was something like that. And then he goes on to say that I'm not an average girl in more ways than one. And then instead of explain that, he asked me a question about if I had feelings for a guy, how I would express that. Like, how does my flirtation work? And I thought this had something to do with his blonde theory. So I went on to say that, you know, I don't just go up and like hit on a guy. I start like just trying to be comfortable, trying to be friendly. I want to be that familiar face. I want them to think well of me. And then so he's like, oh, small talk. And in my head I'm like, I don't know, small talk, but you know, comfortable, friendly. I want to start out friends, see what they're like. And then he asked like, okay, from how you flirt to interrogation, like where are you? And I was like, I really don't interrogate. It's more like I watch, and then it turned into this metaphor of like prowling my prey before I strike. And now that I think about it, I'm not really a prowler or a striker. I mean, what I think I do is that I want to establish a friendship first. I want to get to know them, and I want to start pushing their comfort levels, because I really like just like hugging people and stuff like that. So I start seeing how acceptable they are to that. I see how they approach me, and then I get to compare their interactions with me with how they interact with other people. So if they're being really nice to me, but then I see that they're really nice to everyone, then okay, you know, we're friends, nothing special. But if I like watch and see that they're being super nice to me, but they're being kind of like, you know, chill with other people, blah, 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 then it's like, So with Chef Guy, he was being super nice to me. Like, wow. It was very flattering. The point where I was like, I think there's something here. It was really exciting, actually. But I really don't know him. Like, I've really known him for like a week. Like, I think I met him the first day I worked, last Tuesday, and then a week happened, and then I started training this week. So I've talked to him a few days this week, and then once at the bar. And so, like, all these things in my head, it's like, it's not a problem. It's more like a puzzle where I'm just not sure what that understands. Because, like, later, I was trying to learn how to serve wine to people. So I'm trying to unscrew this wine bottle. And the owner's like, wow, you're really tense. And I was like, because I'm serving it to an invisible crowd, and I'm just like trying to focus really hard and open this wine bottle. She's like, chill out. And I go back and I tell waiter guy, like, oh, she tells me to chill out. He's like, yeah. Just act real casual, like real fun and friendly. Like how you pretend you're talking with Chef Guy. And I think I made a face. I was like, and then he's like, yeah, fun and casual. Like everyone talks to Chef Guy. And somewhere in my head, like, I just start racing him, because Chef Guy hasn't been in yet that day. I hadn't seen him in 2 days. Last time I'd seen him was, I think, at the karaoke bar. But I had worked with this waiter guy on Wednesday, and he didn't say anything like this. And then there was a gap on Thursday, and now he's saying all this stuff today. And I'm like, did he and Chef Guy talk about me? I don't know. I don't know. And then Chef Guy did come in later that day, and he's like, hey, we're going out tonight. And I'm like, well, again? Because we went out on Tuesday, and I'm going to lose all my money this way. And then he's like, well, you don't have to come. And then suddenly my brain was like, what does that mean? Like, I don't know. And of course, older sister is gone until Sunday, and younger sister had practice. So I freaked out, and I visited my friend who is a very good listener. I don't know about like relationship questions, but it was fun to just be like, I don't know what any of that means. And now like I'm worried that like, does waiter guy, like, was I not being subtle? Does waiter guy think I like Chef? I do like Chef Guy, but like, is that obvious? Does Chef Guy know that? Did Chef Guy say something to waiter guy? Like, I don't know the information being passed. And now that I'm worried that because of all this, and because I don't know what any of it means, I'm going to start acting differently. And then like the original reasons that he liked me are going to get skewed, because he's like, I like her, because you're really fun. And then I'm going to show around and I'm going to start acting all nervous. And I don't know. That's my 9-minute dilemma. Because in my head, I'm like I'm a writer. So in my head, I'm like, okay, so if this relationship happens and I start fast forwarding, like how would the plot progress? And then I'm like, stop it. You don't even have the relationship yet. You don't know what's going to happen. And he's my coworker. Like, what if if something is awkward, I fix it, because I just hate awkward. And I don't think he's the type to like insist on making something awkward. And I don't think I could really screw this up like really badly. Like maybe just like a little, and then I'd fix it because I was like, wow, I feel awkward. I don't want to feel awkward anymore. But I'm just like, I needed to stop thinking about it. And I visited my friend. I'm so cool! Oh, and the pipes froze in the house, and half the house didn't have any heat, and then we fixed that yesterday. So, woo. My friend did remind me, though, that, you know, with all the books and the television shows and the movies and the self-help books, no one really knows how to do a relationship. Everyone's a spaz about it. So really, if everyone's a spaz about it, then this kind of makes sense. I don't know what to do. And maybe I'll figure it out. Wish me luck, random audience.